On Acacia Drive, nothing ever really happened. It was the kind of street where afternoons stretched long and golden, where children counted the days by ice cream wrappers and scraped knees. The houses all looked like they'd agreed on a theme. Low walls, pale paint, tilted roofs, baking under the sun. Number 9 had the hedge that spilled over the gate. Number 14 always smelled like fried onions by 4 o'clock. Number 22 had wind chimes that sang even when the air was still. And then there was number 17. It sat between two lived-in homes, like a held breath. Neat, silent. Its paint was neither new nor peeling, just untouched. The windows reflected the sky too clearly, like mirrors that refused to look inward. No car ever parked in the driveway. No curtains ever moved. That was the first thing that Mika noticed. He circled the house every afternoon, tires humming softly against the tar, slowing just enough to stare. Lebo noticed something else. She noticed that when she walked past number 17, the air felt cooler, not cold, just shaded, as if the house carried its own evening with it. Aisha noticed the silence. No radio, no television, not even the sound of pipes or footsteps. They didn't talk about it at first. Kids rarely announce the moment curiosity turns into fixation. It just grows. They sat on the pavement one afternoon, heat rising in small waves, chalk drawings fading under their hands. Mika leaned back on his elbows, squinting at the house. Lebo traced cracks in the pavement with her sneaker. Aisha flipped open her notebook, pages filled with small, neat handwriting. She had written at the top, "Things that don't make sense on Acacia Drive." Number 17 was listed first. They started noticing patterns. Delivery trucks skipped the house. Street lights flickered, except the one outside number 17, which stayed dark every night. Even the neighborhood cats refused to sit on its wall. But still, nothing about that house felt dangerous. Not yet. It was just wrong. In a quiet way. One Saturday morning, the street gathered for a small block cleanup. Brooms swept, hoses sprayed, music played from open windows. The kids watched as adults moved easily around every house except one. No one knocked on number 17's door. No one leaned tools against its wall. It was as if there was a gap in everyone's vision, a polite, unspoken agreement to look past it. Lebo wondered when she'd last seen someone acknowledge the house at all. She tried to remember a time when someone said its number out loud. The memory slid away from her like water through fingers. That night, she stood at her bedroom window. Streetlights glowed amber. Moths hovered. Number 17 stood darker than the rest. Not until just unclaimed by light. For the first time, Lebo had the strange feeling that the house wasn't empty. It was waiting. The next afternoon, Aisha brought chalk. She knelt at the edge of the pavement carefully wrote the numbers of each house in order. 15, 16. She paused, looked up at the gate, and wrote 17. The chalk snapped half in her fingers. Mika laughed it off, but his voice wavered. Lebo felt something tighten in her chest. Not fear exactly, recognition. That evening, the chalk marking had vanished, washed clean, erased. Though it hadn't rained. The kids stood across the street watching the house as the sun dipped low. Shadows stretched, windows darkened. For the first time, one window didn't reflect the sky. It reflected them. 3 small shapes standing very still. And just for a second, so brief it could have been imagined, something inside number 17 shifted. Not a movement, not a sound. Just the sense that the house had finally noticed it was being remembered. That night, Akasha Drive slept like it always had, but something had changed. The street had been counted. The gap had been named. And houses, like memories, don't always like being found. You've been listening to Nightfire Chronicles, where the ordinary waits and the memory finds its way back. Until next time, keep your lights low and your mind open.